The easiest way to install WordPress is to just pick a host that does it for you. Nowadays, many WordPress-specific hosts will let you choose to have WordPress pre-installed. That means once you sign up for hosting, you can jump straight into your WordPress site. The whole question of how to install WordPress is irrelevant in such a case. Our number one recommendation based on numbers will pre-install WordPress for you. SiteGround has tons of WordPress-specific features that make your life easier. Starts from $3.95 a month for one site, and you'll be ready to publish content on your WordPress website after just 3 steps. In step number 1, choose your plan according to your long-term business plan. I stay with the startup plan here that include hosting service for only one website, 10 GB of web space, and it's suitable for no more than 10k visits monthly. The next step is to get started. Register a new domain or tick if you already have a domain name. And the last step is to review and complete the sign-up process. Enter your account information, client information, payment method, then chooses the period for your hosting plan from 1 month as a trial up to 36 months. I stay with the trial option for this tutorial. A good thing about the 36 months option of hosting is that you'll pay just $3.95 a month for 3 years of full service. Before clicking the blue Pay Now button, I suggest you check again all the details above to be sure that everything is correct. After the sign-up process is complete, you'll get instant access to your new WordPress website. cPanel is the dashboard that most web hosts give their customers. When you sign up for hosting, your host should provide you with login details for cPanel. And for most hosts, the cPanel interface looks something like this. In your cPanel interface, your host should give you something called an auto-installer. Auto-installers basically automate the full WordPress install process that I'll outline in the next section. So, instead of needing to do everything manually, you just input some basic information, click a button, and the auto-installer installs WordPress for you. To get started, find the link to the WordPress auto-installer in cPanel and give it a click. On the next screen, you should see an Install Now link. No matter which auto-installer you are using, just give that another click. Next, you'll need to enter details for your WordPress install. First, fill in the protocol and domain name where you want to install WordPress. For protocol, if you are using SSL certificate, you should choose HTTPS. Otherwise, you should choose HTTP. Unless you purposefully installed an SSL certificate, the default is HTTP. Next, choose the directory in which you want to install WordPress. For 99% of situations, you should leave this field blank. Leaving it empty means WordPress will be installed on your main domain. That is, if your domain is mydomain.com, then WordPress will be installed at mydomain.com, rather than something like mydomain.com/blog. A bit further down, you need to enter your site settings. These are just the default values for your site's name and description. You can always change them later from the WordPress interface. Do not enable WordPress multisite unless you're specifically trying to create a multi-site network. You'll also need to create login credentials for your WordPress account. You'll use this username and password combination to log into your WordPress dashboard after the installation. So make sure that you remember it. Depending on the specific auto-installer that you are using, you might see a few other options as well. You can safely ignore this. That is, it's fine to leave anything I didn't cover as the defaults. Once you've filled out everything, make sure to click Install at the bottom of the screen. It might take a minute or so to run. Then you should get a confirmation. You can log into your brand new WordPress installed by going to mydomain.com/wp-admin. Personally, I don't really see a need to use this process anymore, because of how simple and ubiquitous the author installers above are. But if you want to learn how to install WordPress manually, keep on watching. If you are a beginner, just use the author installer process I outlined before. To run the famous 5-minute install, you will need an FTP program to upload files. I use FileZilla, but there are plenty of quality free FTP programs. Start by downloading the latest version of WordPress from wordpress.org. Then unzip the file and upload it to the public HTML or similar directory of your website. If you are not sure how to log in to your FTP, ask your host for your FTP account information. While that's going on, head over to your cPanel account and find the MSQL database option. You should see an option to create a new database. Enter a name for your database and click Create Database. The name can be whatever you want, just make sure that you remember it. You'll need it later on. Next, you need to actually create a user for your database. So, on that same page, scroll down to MySQL Users and create a new user. Once you've created the user, make sure to give it access to the database you created. On the next page, also make sure to give that username all privileges. Now, assuming the FTP transfer has finished, you can go to your domain name to complete the installation process. When you visit your domain, you should see the WordPress install wizard. First, you need to choose your language. Then make sure you have the details for your database name, user and password handy. Enter them when prompted. If all goes well, you should be able to run the WordPress install. Give your WordPress site a title and enter the information necessary to create your admin account. Then click Install WordPress. And that's it. You just learned how to install WordPress manually. You can now log in with the account details that you entered during the install process. If you want to create a sandbox where you can learn more about WordPress, you can install WordPress on your own computer. You'll have a fully functioning WordPress install that you can play around with. It just won't be accessible to anyone else. That is, it will only be available on your own computer. This is also known as a local host. If you are interested in such a setup, I have another video here on how to install everything. Thanks for watching. Check out our latest tutorials about WordPress. Please share them if you like what you see. Hit the like button and ask any question through the comment section below. Help us inform you about new uploads by hitting the subscribe button right here.